Whew. It's 1:19 p.m. May 2nd, and I just woke up maybe 10-15 minutes ago. I immediately hopped on my yoga mat, started doing some stretching and some breathing. It's wild how much our body really responds to that. Just a little bit of stretching, just to kind of center myself. And I had a conversation with a friend of mine the other day who really inspired me and is doing really well. And I got to witness their journey, very fortunately. From the jump, they started off with the podcast. And they started their podcast 5 years ago. And they're doing well today. And the reason why I was thinking about this is because it gives me inspiration and perspective to remember this person didn't start off having this awesome life that they have today. They started off with a tool that paved the way for them, that opened up opportunities for them, that opened up relationships for them, that opened up doors for them. And it took 5 years for them to build the life they have today. And I'm always putting things into perspective for myself in terms of how much time something takes and just remaining as present as I possibly can. Because I feel like I can get into this stress mode where I'm like, bro, we need to make something happen immediately. We need to get out of this environment. I need to start traveling. I need to blah, 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 blah. And what that would do is, I think it would motivate me for a little bit. I would start taking even more action. But I think eventually I'll taper off. And then I won't take as much action. And then days go by without taking action because I have to, rest and all that kind of stuff. And I got to remind myself that consistency is key here. In about 4 days, it'll be 3 months since I published the Real Nigga Bible. And I still have so much more work to do with that. I'm getting my free copies. They're not free copies, I pay for them, but I'm getting copies to give away for free in probably like a week and a half. I'm posting each day on YouTube. And it's just like, dude, just remain patient. Just remain patient. Just like your friend, it took all that time for them to build their life. It'll take time for you too. But the good thing is, as well as like, remember, like, I have a product that is unique and that is very powerful and that is fucking amazing. So it's like, okay, I know just eventually over time I'll get there because I have a fucking great product. It's a funny book, not just the cover, but also the inside. And as long as I just keep going, keep marketing, keep posting videos, one thing will lead to the next. I have a friend of mine. This is actually really cool. one of my best friends from high school. We used to film these prank videos called, we had a YouTube channel called The Young Pups. And we used to film these pranks. We had some great pranks, man. And this is around like 2013, when pranks were on the rise, and we were good. We were good, man. Unfortunately, my friend decided to delete the videos a couple years later, so there's no videos of the Young Pups anymore. Oh well. But that was fun times, and I really believe that if we stuck with it, we would have won. Because we had great pranks, and pranks were so in at that time, and we were beginning to build a little bit of an audience. But we stopped. I think we stopped just for life reasons. It just became too challenging, and to just like meet up and start filming. And I think our focus, I wasn't like all in serious with it. It was more of a casual thing for me. And then my friend who I'm gonna be meeting up with again, he was like the spearhead of it. And I think he was just busy with school and other things, so we stopped. But last year, I forgot why I texted him this, but I was like, dude, we should get back into filming again. And he said, yeah, we'll do it maybe sometime months down the line. I'm like, oh man, like, but we can make this happen now. Well, I think I've inspired him just through the videos that I've been posting, and just like with my book. And I think what he does see, I think he sees the vision. I think he sees like, oh, okay, yes, we can really actually make something happen here. So he lives about like an hour away from me, like an hour maybe and a half away from me. And he's been doing research. He's doing some writing, so I'm gonna meet up with him. Today's Thursday. I'm gonna meet up with him on Monday, and we're gonna do some filming. And I'm really excited about that. I'm really fucking excited about that, man. Like, it was so fun working with him. I'm excited to work with him some more, and I'm excited to see what the energy is and where this takes me. But I think it's gonna be a fun little addition to what I do here with these videos. But not like, I don't think we're gonna do pranks. I don't know. I have no clue. I have no idea what he has in mind. But I told him I'm his guinea pig. I'm willing to exit my comfort zone as long as I don't put my life in danger. Like, hey, let's run it. Let's do it. It's just little things, man. Little things along the journey. One step leads to the next step, and it all builds upon each other. It all compounds. As long as you don't give up, you'll eventually get there. I tweeted something the other day. I just had this powerful ass realization. Like, a marathon is just a bunch of steps. All right, that's all it is. Plain and simple, a marathon is just a bunch of steps. But if a marathon is just a bunch of steps, that means that the marathon isn't just the day of the race. Because you take a shitload of steps before that. So the marathon isn't just the race. The marathon is actually the entire process, because all of those steps count. All of those steps matter. Because you wouldn't be able to take those steps on marathon day without all of the steps you've taken before. And you take all of those steps so you can run that marathon. So let's think about that. If all a marathon is a bunch of steps, then let's break this down. How many steps go into like a marathon then? the process. Maybe a couple 100,000? And it's easy to discount certain runs, right? Like week 2, that run you do that's 3 miles. It may seem insignificant in the grand scheme of things. Or that first run you do that's 1 mile. It may seem insignificant in the grand scheme of things. Like, oh man, I was so gassed, I was so tired. How am I gonna fucking be able to run this? But all of those steps fucking count. They all matter. And what happens at the end of all the training and you run that marathon, what happens is there's a fucking massive feat at the end. But every single step counted. Every single one of them. And that's how I look at this journey as well. Each video that I post counts. Every Instagram story I post counts. Every time I mention therealniggabible.com, it's free, counts. Every time I go to jiu-jitsu and my coaches and my professors are, have inside jokes about the book, and then other people find out about it, it fucking counts. But if we look at things at face value, you'll see right now I have 93 subscribers. I have 17 people on my email list. And it's just like, you might look at that and say, oh wow, like, it's easy for someone who is not mentally disciplined or someone who hasn't gone through this journey to look at that at face value and say, oh man, that must be hard or whatever, all this kind of stuff. It's like, nah, bro, you don't realize, like, I just have like 100,000 more steps to go. And that can be daunting for a lot of people. But knowing this, it's like, dude, it's a tortoise and the hare. I will get there eventually. I'll get there eventually. And that's fine. I'm 28 years old. I'm still young as fuck. I still have so much time to make this happen. And I'm going to make this happen. And on top of this, it's like, I'm writing my second book. And I think my second book is actually going to be better than my first book, which is super cool. And each time I take steps with that, I'm making progress. And then to have the two books together, combined, when the people who are big fans of the Real Nigga Bible, like, are inclined to read my second book and they get even more value from it and they enjoy it even more. And then the people who haven't heard about my first book, but they heard about my second book, and they love my second book, and they go read my first book, and then they go fucking talk about that. And then it's just, there's so much. There's different seasons in life. Just like the world, We have our winter seasons, and I'm just coming out of a winter where I couldn't really execute on anything. I was bedridden. I was not healthy for 13 months. I was fucked up. Couldn't do much. Took on a job where I was making $7 an hour. It was like a company based like in India. Making less than half than minimum wage, bro. I was making. And I was happy about that. Because at least I had a job. And it was a job that was in alignment with my goals. And I was able to do it consistently. Unlike, I wouldn't have been able to do this job that I have right now. It can be physically taxing. I wasn't there. And now, where I'm at is I'm in spring in my life. And in springtime, what you do is you plant a bunch of seeds. You make sure your crop is all lined up and all that kind of shit. Make sure it's set up for you to be able to maximize the fruits of your labor once they come. And what do you do with those seeds? You water them. You water them, water them, water them. Now, when you plant a seed, are you just going to eat some delicious mangoes from that seed the next week? The next 2 weeks? The next month? It takes time. It fucking takes time. It takes persistence. It takes focus. It takes belief. It takes faith. And then the next phase of my life is going to be summertime. And that's where I'm going to, my plants are growing. However, there's going to be fucking pesticides that I'm going to have to fucking get rid of. That are going to fucking like rodents that are going to fucking kill my crop. And I stay patient. I keep watering. And then it's fall. It's harvest. Time to eat the fruits of my labor. And that's just the natural rhythm of life. We all go through it. We all have it. We all go through winters. We all have the springtime, summer, the fall. And your fall is heavily reliant, because you're gonna have a fall season, but it's heavily reliant on how you spent your spring. Did you actually take the time to plant your fucking seeds? And if you planted seeds, okay, well, did you plant fucking opium seeds? Did you only plant a few of them? Because your fall's coming. It's just how life works. So it's hey, my head's down. Consistency is key. Just keep posting. Keep talking about the book. Keep writing. Keep taking small steps. And eventually we'll get there. So what's best for me is just to make sure that my mental is okay. Because life is just what life is. And I have the power through my mind to tell a story about how I interpret this life. Towards the end of my winter, when I lost my health, I started going to watch the sunset every day. Every day. And you know what? I got to this point where I was broke as a fucking motherfucker. Couldn't afford shit, man. And I'd be at the sunset, chilling. Sometimes I'd be high. And I would just be grateful. And I would be in awe. And I would just be like, I don't need money to make me happy. And just think about that power. Think about the power of not being physically capable of doing much, of being broke as fuck. Barely being able to go watch a fucking sunset at the park. And to sit there on that bench and be like, I am fucking grateful as fuck for this. And to actually feel good about life. Because I learned a lesson from when I was traveling. I learned that there's nothing that's external that'll ever bring me peace. Nothing. At least long lasting peace. There's nothing external that'll ever finally make me feel good about myself. Nothing. And it is my responsibility to manage my internal world. It's not the world's responsibility or the external's responsibility to manage my inner world. It's up to me to manage it no matter what my external world looks like. So yeah, things may not be externally ideal for you, but that doesn't mean that you have to feel obligated to feel bad inside about it. They have to feel like you're behind, or you have to feel like guilty for not being a hustler and like making something happen. Like, dude, one of the most powerful things is just acceptance. Accept where you are in your life. And just think about the power that that person has. The person who is able just to be like, this is fucking dark and this is less than ideal and it's embarrassing and it's difficult. And to be able to look at that and say, but you know what? I fucking accept it. I am here. Because it's easy to like not accept it. It's easy for the ego to play games, and it's easy to go into these, illusions and delusion, and it's easy to distract ourselves from reality, and it's hard to come to terms with things. But when you can just look at reality and say, I am here, and that is okay. What has power over you? What possesses power over you? If you're able to be in winter and be like, I am okay with this, you're a powerful person. That's fucking powerful. The mind is powerful. It's interesting how it has the most massive effect on how we think and perceive and the quality of life that we live. It's a beautiful tool, and I spent many years figuring it out, learning about it. Tony Robbins events, Brendon Burchard, the countless books I've read, the seminars I went to, audiobooks, the podcasts, the psychedelics, the float tanks, the mentors. I mean, dude, I'm telling you, I received a fucking education, bro. And I'm so proud of the education I received because of the fucking risk that I took to obtain it. There was so much risk to obtaining the education that I have today. And that makes me value it so much more. But I'll tell you what, one thing I am terrified of, I wasn't terrified of this before, but now I am very terrified. I'm terrified of death. I'm terrified of death now because I feel like I have something to lose. I feel like I'm just getting started. But I understand this, that if I came to fucking terms with death and I accepted my mortality and I was able just to be free in terms of, you know what? Yes, I have a lot to lose, but I still don't have fear over this. I think that's when I'm gonna obtain even more power. I'm just terrified of it because I'm like, dude, I'm just getting started. Like, dude, I have so much to lose. Like, please don't let this be the end. Like, dude, I have so much to live for. I have so much fucking potential. Like, this would be the greatest tragedy if it ended this early. And I also think of like the non-acceptance of death can make it so I take less risks. Because when you're not afraid of it, you're just like, fuck it, dude. And like, there's so much power to being a person who has nothing to lose. Because you're just like, fuck it. What? What the fuck do I have to lose here? There's so much power in that position. One of my favorite J. Cole lyrics is, look into the eyes of a young nigga who survived against all the odds. Look into the eyes of a young nigga who's surprised to be alive. I died 5 years ago. The game snatched a nigga spiritual. My resurrection was a miracle, but still I rise. Damn. That song is Folgers Crystals. It's so good. It starts off, he goes, now I can be the change that I want to see. I can heal the world for real if a nigga speaking honestly. Nat Turner in my past life. Bob Marley in my last life, back again. Look into the eyes of a young nigga who survived against all the odds. Take that risk, man. Take the motherfucking risk. Remember when I was 22 years old, I was at an Airbnb in the forest with my mentor and his family. And I remember I was outside, and we were outside, me and my mentor. And, you know, I had left my job that when I was working with him. So I was giving him like an update on what was going on. And I'll never forget, he said, you can seriously mess your life up about 2 to 3 more times and still recover and live a good life. That shit stuck with me, man. It gave me so much permission to be like, what? You tell me I can fuck up my life 2 to 3 more times and still recover to live a good life? I think the wrong person would interpret that like, okay, I can just fucking fuck off then, I have time. But to me, I didn't look at it that way. The way I looked at it was like, oh fuck, dude, like I can take more risk, I can take more chances, and like I have nothing to lose. Like I'll be all right. I got very fortunate. Very fortunate to be around the people I was in my early 20s and my mid 20s, bro. Because who it is I am today is a fucking powerful motherfucker, bro. And this year's gonna mark 10 years since I've been in personal development, and dude, the fucking inner transformation I had from these last 10 years is just unbelievable. Now what you get to witness is a strong character and circumstances are less than ideal, or you get to see someone who has so much belief in themselves and what they're doing. You get to see their fucking rise to success. And you get to see how it is that I'm processing things and how I problem solve and how I look at where it is that I am at the moment. Because I know I'm going to win, because that's all I do. I win all the fucking time. But the thing is, like, winning takes time. You know, the NBA playoffs are on right now. And look, each and every single practice they have is important because it prepares them for a game. But not just that, they played fucking 81, 82 games before they even made it to the playoffs. And just think about all that travel, all that taxing, all that fucking, like the food they had to eat, the discipline they had to have, the sleep, and all of these tiny, tiny, tiny little steps compounded. I think it took LeBron James fucking 9 years, bro, being in the NBA before he ever won a championship. 9 years. Would you stick with something for 9 years? Would you stick with something knowing that you would win in 9 years, bro? That's a love for the game, man. That's fucking persistence. That's inspiring. But not even just like his time in the NBA. You know how much discipline it had to take for him to even fucking make it to the NBA, bro? Like, that's what I'm saying. And then he got so much hate over the course of his career. And last year, he finally got the fucking scoring record for the most points an NBA player has ever scored. Like in history. But it took him, 20 years. in his career to become the GOAT. Enduring so much pain, so many losses, so many setbacks, so many learning lessons, so much frustration, anxiety, loss of sleep, but a discipline and persistence and focus to keep moving forward and to keep fucking problem solving. So it's like, hey, let's not try to, I'm trying to fucking get results in 3 months and 6 months. Like, I'm trying to fucking do all this stuff. Like, you don't realize, dude, like, if you really pay attention, bro, like, greatness happens over the course of time. And people are like, well, it doesn't have to take that much time. But it's like, you don't even realize, bro, that, like, the external shit that you even think is going to make you happy is not going to make you happy anyway. We're going to get there eventually. But the fucking great thing is not the arriving. The great thing is the fucking journey. So let's put our focus towards the steps that we take and let's celebrate those steps. Yes, this is great. Celebrate the fact that you're on the path, or you're figuring it out, or you're trying to figure out the path. But at least you're making effort. At least you're doing your fucking best. Patience. Patience, patience, patience. Be patient. Your day is coming. You just got a couple 100,000 more steps to go. Some people don't want to hear that, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Just like my friend who's doing well today, I was there in the beginning. They took their couple 100,000 steps. 5 years later, they took their couple 100,000 steps, bro. Life is beautiful, bro. The reward is the experiencing of this. The reward is being alive. Because it's a mystery. None of anything we do is going to matter in the end anyway. So you might as well just fucking take that risk. Fucking go for it. Fucking do it. Say fuck it, because you're gonna die whether you accomplish your goals or not. You might as well die having gone for them. The result's the same. You're gonna die either way. Might as well die living the life that you wanted to live. That's how I see it, at least.